I'm just so friggin' disgusted today. The factard, he's so disgusted me. Same as Gator Boy. They've made me so disgusted. These evil villains from comic books. They're so outlandish and so disgusting. And once you've killed millions of people, you're beyond evil to me. So then when you start coming up with killing puppies and feeding them to something while they're alive, that's a slow eating them kind of situation, even to the point you can't listen to their crying, so you just remove their vocal cord. That, I think we're going to come up with new words beyond depravity. And there's some of this stuff that it doesn't even have the same impact, some of the words that we have now. I think we're going to have to come up with new ones. It's so outlandish. And this, the thing that gets me, because I already understand these people's evilness, the thing that I can't, well, I talk about it all the time. I just have a really hard time wrapping my head around of these people there's people who work there. People went there. It was their job and got paid. They monitored that. They participated. He didn't run that lab by himself. There's a lot of people. I know like Judy, who has come out and spoken out, and they put her in jail, destroyed her thing, bankrupted her. They can do whatever they want. And all of these people who sit in here having this, moral dilemma over, do I, risk death for a job? I don't understand the dilemma there. You act like that the earth does not supply us with food. If it comes down to it, anybody could go out and just find a little place and just start growing their food, foraging. There's so many people out doing it already. This isn't like some crazy whacked out thing. There's people actually living this way. There's communities building, like what you would consider a commune, communities building on self-sufficient, taking care of their own self, their own community. That is where we have to get our minds back into that. It's like, what would you do for a job? Like, it's absolutely disgusting. And when I talk about the aristocrats and the elites and stuff like that, it makes it so clear. They have not been the problem. We have been our problem. We have participated. It is our lack of a moral compass. And that's where I get into the whole thing about the reincarnation recycle thing. Like, this lack of moral compass, I don't think is just from one life. This is consciousness beginning to have awareness of itself, but there's other consciousnesses that are here that have gone through a lot of lives. They're ready to ascend. Things are making sense to them. They have gotten more in touch with their self. There's other people who are just completely, is it their lack of consciousness? Is it their inability to pull free from a system? Or is it really this reincarnation recycle that has just systematically depleted them to where they just are cut off from their soul, their moral compass? Because I don't understand it at all. I don't, I went to this job. I've had a lot of jobs I've walked off from. When something isn't right, it's like, nope. And, I've had several. One was, I was younger medical assistant. I was working in urgent care, and I was married at the time, and I even had 2 kids. And this doctor, brain surgeon, who was the most arrogant piece of shit guy, he would just harass me, sexually harass me all day long, just harass me, putting pressure on me, trying to get me to go out with him, trying to get me to leave my husband, all sorts of stuff. This guy was whacked. And so one day this little boy came in with his mom. He was screaming and crying. I think it was the whole family. They were Hispanic, and they couldn't speak English. And they came in there, they had a rabbit. I don't know how many, but they had a rabbit had bit his finger, and it bit it like was almost bit off. This just so happens it's the finger I almost cut off. So I had a feeling about this when this boy came in, because when I was a kid, I was using a pocket knife, and I almost cut my finger off. And my parents didn't even take me to the ER. They just, it was horrible. I had to get medicine put on. Oh, it was horrible. Very painful. And it had to just heal back by itself. Never got a stitch or anything. So anyways, they bring him in, and he is screaming, and the doctor starts doing this surgery thing on him, and I'm supposed to stand up here and comfort these people. I don't speak Spanish, and they don't speak English, and I'm supposed to be, comforting them because I'm told by the doctor. And he looks at me and cuts that little boy's finger off. I left. There's no way. I mean, you have to start recognizing, like, it shouldn't be that difficult. You've got to get in touch with your moral compass. Like, it's in there. Everybody has this God particle inside of them. Some people, they've just shut it off. Systematically, it's been shut down in this reality. But, one thing is, too, is humans have got to see, like, they aren't, like, super sophisticated, highly sophisticated technology and stuff, because they're civilized, because they put on clothes and they kill animals, that they think that they are superior or something. If you were up above and looking down, we're like an ant habitat thing, just watching these people. Just imagine if you were up there. I mean, we've all been in an airplane and gone up and seen what it looks like. And we're just nothing. We're just little peons down there, just scurrying around, thinking everything's so important, just like the ants. I've watched them for a long time before. They will pick up a little thing. They will spend hours to get back to where it is they're trying to go. They'll cross over things. They'll go around things. Anything they can do. That it's so important to them. That's how we are. It's so important to us. But we have beings watching us, and it's not about, like, getting from here to there. It's about realizing yourself. It's about becoming spiritually independent. It's about connecting to who and what you are. It's about enlightenment. So as people scurry around, like, oh, I got to get to my job. I got to do this. I got to do that. You're defeating the whole purpose of being. And when you're cut off from your whole spiritual, your whole moral compass, what's guiding you? It's easy to manipulate you. It's easy to tell you to go over here and do this and go over here and do that. I mean, they've got people that use no logic, no common sense. They think, bend over and spread your ass cheeks to get swabbed to see if you've got a cold. It's like, it is very difficult to watch people be this ignorant. I mean, it is to be so easily misled. It is like, I don't know, watching Simon Says, only you're watching some bully do it to the special ed class, and he's just fucking with them. That's what this is like. It's like you just want to go up and just punch the bully. It's like, no, stop. They don't know what you're doing. It's just, oh my God. There are so many people that have been employed by these monsters for so long. Like I said, when I worked at the hospital, when I started hearing, like, when that one woman had died on the floor, she went to ICU. She had the same thing as me, only she was getting a herniation. I think hers herniated. Mine was just starting to collapse. My brain was collapsing because it's a closed system. Your CSF, it goes up and it goes around your brain. It cushions it and goes through your spine and stuff. It's a closed system to keep it flowing. And it is kind of like hitting an artery or something. All that fluid comes out and that system collapses. And when it collapses, it sucks. And so it can suck your brain right down into your spinal cord. And that's what happened. And it was the same kind of thing, too, because when you make an entry hole into that system, which they do with spinals and stuff, epidurals and whatnot, when they do that, you have to keep the person flat, and they have to build it back up. Well, if they're leaking, you got to make sure they're not leaking, because this will happen. What happened to me. And when this happened, and I was a nurse, and it was a patient, and I wasn't involved in her care or anything. I was on the floor. Like I knew what had happened over, down in some other area. And then I heard these nurses talking. It was like, I don't know, it was weeks or months. I think it was months after. It was definitely within the weeks or months kind of space. And they were talking about having been called down to doctor their notes. And I was just walking by and heard them talking about this. Like they were having a moral kind of discussion, like, what do we do? And when I went to mine, I got all of the, what are those things called? I want to say documentaries. They're not called documentaries. They're called, they are, it's when a person, like, when you have to go to court, you have to go in and you have to sit with this, all these lawyers get to ask you questions so they can get you on record answering these questions. Deposition. So you have to go do a deposition. So I have all my depositions from all the nurses who were involved in my care, supposedly. They can just pretend like somebody wasn't. They change initials, they change names. There's suddenly people who came in your room that took care of you never saw before. And the nurses that were in there all the time, they're nowhere to be found. They're not in court. So it's all just bullshit. It's all fake. And the depositions and stuff, but they literally ask the people, but you got to understand, hospitals are corporations. Even if they say they're not making money, non-profit, they are for profit. They just funnel their profit. And the same with, with churches, with organizations, all of this stuff. Whatever they say is all lies. It's all just money that they funnel to who they want to funnel it to. It could be for, big pharma, putting it into the universities so they can control what's being taught. And, it's the funneling. They just funnel whoever's funneling it. It's all just money moving, putting it here and there. The only people who really get to stick with the money are the ones who have a whole ton of it. The more of the money hoarders. They get up there in their status, elites and the aristocrats and stuff. Because even people who make money, they would do everything they can to take it away from these people. They want to control it. They want to control us. So, making money puts you in a place as a target to these people. But the people who just go into their jobs regularly and participate in these crimes, and to think like it's okay, like, are they like holding guns on people and not letting them leave, and they're going to kill their family if they talk about it and stuff? They do some shitty stuff, but there's no matter what, people are participating. People are part of the system. The system has been able to infiltrate us because people have allowed it to infiltrate us. People have become participants in the erosion of our own species. It is the destruction of mankind is being done by mankind, and it's not just the violence and the anger. It's far more complex than that. It is much more about the just giving up tradition, the lack of tradition, the lack of wanting to we've put our old people in nursing homes. We don't want to be bothered. Yeah, well, they weren't that great a parent anyways. Just put them away in a nursing home. They can take care of them. We've done that stuff. That's all been us. They've given us these opportunities to do that. They've programmed, indoctrinated, and made us think it's okay. But where's our moral compass? Where's our inner guidance? Where's our real truth? Because it's in there. You just have to find it. You have to follow it. But this stuff that they are doing us and keeping us a part of, we are participating. We are part of the problem. We can't just be the victim. Oh, poor us, aristocrats. They have enslaved us, and they didn't do it by themselves. There were people working for them all the time. People who had no integrity, were willing to sell their soul, give up their morality for a couple bucks. That. And if you were one of those people, and at this point in time, you're starting to, because the planet's moving. I've seen so many people now who are doing things about, we've got other planets. There's some crazy stuff in the footage. Like, we've got other planets. We've got complete other systems going on around us now. And, I don't know if we're a frisbee flying through the air. I'm not sure. I know that things are changing out there, and they're hiding it from us. They don't want us to know, and because they think people can't handle it. If you are one of these people who are waking up to your own, as you're going through this, like, there's things that is happening. The universe is sending out energy. You've got beings all around you that are sending out insights. You have, or downloads, whatever you want to call them. You have the sun is sending out these solar flashes, and these solar flashes promote you to grow. The moon cycles, everything is happening for you to start understanding yourself. So if you're getting to that point and you're looking at yourself and you're going, oh my God, what did I do? Why would I have let that happen? Why was I a part of that? What in me would have made it where I wouldn't have done that? But just remember, this is an awakening. This is you, it's a realization. This is waking up to that. This is how we create change. We wake up to our part of it, to what we did to participate, to create this horrible situation. And when we can start looking at ourselves that deeply, that's when we can start changing it. They're being exposed to us. All this stuff is being exposed to us. Your own dark side is being exposed to you. All of that stuff is for you to learn from, to grow from, so we can create the place we want. But, this is the time to really look hard and deep at yourself and to see, like, what, my nose is really itchy. I don't know what that means, but it is really itchy. But, this is your time to start looking at yourself and seeing, because there's always, they didn't do this by themselves. Remember, they are 1%. We're 99. We go to them for our jobs. People are willing to take poison for a job at this point. That is so stuck in a system to not be able to see, like, oh, I can make it without this. I can make it without this job. I can make it without this house. I can make it, Jesus Christ, the giants have been out there living in the freaking desert in Afghanistan in the mountains. Don't we have the same abilities to be able to survive? They are able to do it for how many years? Thousands and thousands of years, and be out there and just doing their own thing. And we can't even figure out how to not be dependent on these controlling, disgusting beings. It's like, I think once people start realizing that this is like, that's how important you are. You're an ant. Like, how many ants do you know their name? How many ants do you go out there and you could even find the same ant? Maybe if you put some fingernail polish on one, maybe you'd see it again sometime. But you don't, they're just ants. Well, that's what we are. We're just humans. We're just these beings trying to learn how to evolve, how to become different, how to look at ourselves and want to change and to make the change, So That's what all of this stuff that is going on is about. That's what ascension is about. That's what enlightenment is about. That is where we get the change that we want. It's all of us changing to create the change. That's the hand of God coming in. It's all of us coming together to create, all of the little God particles coming together to create this, coming together. That is, I feel like today is one of those days where I've got all this stuff on my mind too, that I couldn't sleep at all last night. I know I've talked about this before, getting off the coffee mate, getting off the different chemicals and different food things and stuff like that with the diet, and trying to eat healthy and get as much of the chemicals out of my system. But I've got my worst problem is sugar, which I just heard that is the most addictive thing that there is on this planet is sugar. And that is definitely one of my downfalls is sugar. But the other day I got, I went to the store. It was after I had already seen about the other creamers. I've been going through all these different creamers, trying to find something that will give me that same satisfactory cup of tea in the morning that I just long for when I would get up and be like, oh, my tea. Oh, I'm going to have my cup of tea. And it was always like, that first cup was just so beautiful. It was just so pleasant. And then trying to get off of that and change it into a more natural substance has been difficult. It just is not even the same. And then the other non-dairy creamers, the soy. Soy is so bad for you, and all the stuff they put in for the soy, and oh my God, there's so much. And the almond creamer stuff. They put so many chemicals. They do so many things to get milk out of a fucking almond. Then you just squeeze the almond and put it in the milk in there. It's not like coconut milk. Just open it and pour it in. And even if you went to buy coconut milk, if you bought real coconut milk, it would look completely different than the coconut milk you buy at the store that comes in a carton. Completely different. So anyways, on the day that I was feeling that, it's all poison. What's the point? I'm just going to go back to my coffee mate. So I maybe already told this because I did a TikTok. I don't remember if I already said this on this one. So if I did, sorry. But now it's not even halfway done. And I already am having so much pain in my body. I couldn't even sleep. It was the weirdest thing too. It's like I would lay on my back and it would feel like the top of me would become so heavy. It was just like crushing me. I would lay on the other side. It would be the same thing. Whatever was on the bed part, it felt like, oh my God, it just felt like it was crushing me and all my joints were like sparking. And it was super painful. I couldn't sleep. I had to finally get up. I was just like, fuck this. I got to get off the coffee mate again. It's got to be the coffee mate, because I remember back, I don't know, it would have been more maybe in January or the end of 2020 that I was talking about this with this weird pain and these shootings, electrical feelings. And I feel certain that's when I went off of the coffee mate, but then I also went off of the water. And it was the same thing when I started noticing a lot of pain from the water, which, oh my gosh, now I've learned more about the water. Oh, yeah, faucet water, bottled water, no. You gotta find water source next to you, like somebody who has a well, at least for your drinking water. I've got a spring here that has a pipe that comes out and everybody goes there and fills their things. So just, please don't dry up. But it's some sort of, I guess it's some sort of well, in ground well that for some reason there's a pipe. Who knows? It could be a trap. Everything's a trap. But now with the coffee mate again, now I'm like, these chemicals really affect our body. And another thing too is the chemicals. What was I gonna say? Well, if you go and you watch if you get any of the books, like I've told you before about Stephen Gundry, any of his books about food and stuff, and he explains like the biology behind food and how it affects in our system and stuff is so interesting. If you can understand science, some of his books are more scientific and they're really, really good. But he has some that just basically tell you about how to eat and stuff. And they're really good and they have a lot of explanation. And there is was something with the chemicals, damn it. I can't think of it. I feel so spacey. But anyways, just really start noticing the different chemicals and stuff and how they affect your body, because when you start paying attention, it's very significant. It is, I just can't even believe it. I must have been like within 2 days of drinking it, I started having pain, and then last night I couldn't even sleep. But these chemicals are, this is not new. We're being tested on all the time, and these chemicals are affecting our bodies, and they're making us sick. And they want you sick because they want you to take their quick fix pills. So this system has all been so they can get rich off of us. It's poison us, and then we go to them for the cure. But there's poisons in all of our stuff, and all these poisons interact with other poisons. They interact with our own body, dynamics, whatever, morphology, whatever you want to call it. And so, anyways, I'm losing my words. I'm really tired. So, anyways, I'll just stop there and just really focus on your health. Really focus on your healing. And, if you have done things that you are questioning now, don't hate yourself for it. Don't be mad at yourself for it. Just learn from it. This is about learning. Enlightenment is about learning. So it's not about realizing like, oh my God, I was so disgusting. I was such a dick, and I'm just gotta kill myself. There's no other hope. Well, as soon as you kill yourself, you're just gonna go right back in and have to go back in and learn it again. So take your lessons, focus on them, work on your healing. Don't think like there's a quick way out. There's not. You're on a soul's journey. You're just being misled and thinking that this is life. This isn't. This is an illusion. You're just here playing a part, and you got trapped, and it won't let you leave. It's like, you're going to stay here, and you're going to keep playing this part until we tell you can go, which is never. And it just, kill you off and then bring you back. So stay strong, work on yourself, and don't hate yourself. No matter how big a dick you ever were. You just got to learn from it. That's all you got to do. It's real simple. Just learn from your mistakes and don't continually make the same ones. And if you recognize that you had no moral compass for a while, you must be working for you now. You're recognizing it, and it's starting to make sense to you. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Also, as this planetary system is evolving and stuff, and we're evolving, I think that the chemicals are having a lot more faster effects. So like if you're really having a lot of issues, don't go get one of these tests that's going to tell you, oh yeah, you got this. No, focus on your diet, focus on your health. Don't worry about all of this stuff they're trying to sell you. Just focus on you and taking care of you. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.